came here and make the channel froze. I'm really who the panel chose. Put my name up like a banner boat. Acting tough and I'ma let her go. Name her who got a better flow. She can hang it up just like a telephone. Stick me up with the cause TK, let it come see it. Me and them here make it come treat it. Spin, make it come beat it. I want the new in the machine out. Jewelry be caught like the temperature zero. I'm the boys, they call me the hero. Heavy then they know what I be on.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Herbert off of play action. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Ravens will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. He's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. The Steelers at 3-11 now on the year. And whatever promise they had to start the season fully evaporated now as they come in losers of 6 straight.
Well, you know what they often say, winning breeds winning, but unfortunately, the flip side of that can be true as well, because this is a club in desperate need of a spark out of somewhere. A big play on offense, turnover, takeaway on defense, something to get them pointed in the right direction. They need it quickly.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him over 3,000 yards passing now on the campaign.
And Brandon, nowadays, your leader's usually closer to 5,000 yards on the year, but still, 3,000 yards, a good season.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. Play action. It's Herbert. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are. This team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their futures. They look ahead to the offseason. What spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
These two teams matching up for the second time this year. Their first meeting back in October, week 6, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll look to throw. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And the Ravens will take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything, every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although Like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start...
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown.
Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all three phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick six.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
This will be returned from deep in the end.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
On first down, it's Herbert.
Touchdown! From 21 yards away.
And the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he'll just plow right into a host of tacklers. Nothing there at all, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were terrific last week in the victory over Buffalo.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was popped free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
On 2nd down, Brennan. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. So their move is to decline that so they don't get another 2nd down. It'll be 3rd.
So that has to tell us that they're pretty confident in their 3rd down defense, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's a sub package or nickel package, whatever they want to run out there, they feel like they can defend here on 3rd down.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And the slot man goes in motion left. On third down. He'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And taken right on the 30. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time.
He's got a man, complete.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action this time for Justin Herbert.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Steelers are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And some room to work. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have it.
He's got a man, complete. A big play there on the catch and run. 73 yards. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Herbert now. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Ravens continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the route is on here in this first half.
Steelers 14.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they looked up, and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. Going to throw right side here. Complete.
Finding space at the 40. Down the right sideline. And he is finally forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards. I know it's tough to make tackles in the open field, but that one hurts because he got a little bit extra after the missed tackle.
Receivers are coached so well, they have to break at least one tackle after the catch. He did that on that play.
He finds his man, complete. It's Bush.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. On the move to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Come back team. 60 Maverick. 18, Pioneer.
They'll drop to throw.
A throw left side taken in by Kmet.
Pick up 15 yards there. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Up the middle they go. Brennan. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll set up to throw. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. It's the fullback with his first career NFL touchdown.
And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Here's the Steelers kick team as they'll boot this one away.
He will return this from deep in the end zone.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this, but you would think definitely enough time to at least try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, you want to move with a nice sense of pace. You want to up the tempo.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Steelers are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his throw here's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And the Steeler pressured too much here. He's going down. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. After the sack on 1st down, Herbert. He's going to go for a big play downfield. On Herbert, his 3rd interception. And the Steelers are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. But Charles, so close to halftime there, you throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They give him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Can't get away, and he's taken down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
Okay, ready? Go, Reed, go!
They'll throw now on the final play. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin.
Evan McPherson is set to kick off.
The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
In motion comes the tight end left. On first down, Brennan. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Hey, check that, street.
On second down now, Brennan.
And the defense closes quickly there, and he'll get maybe a yard to the 33. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now back to throw. And that is incomplete.
And those two just have been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
They're going to try and throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
So first and 10. And if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in for second half blowout material.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 28. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. This will be a return from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
60 Maverick, 60 Maverick. 19, Pioneer. Warriors, 17.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted.
Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game. But that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7.
1st and goal at the 7-yard line.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
Brought down just shy of the goal line. A gain of 7 brings up 2nd and goal.
60 Vikings. Back to 60. Back to 60.
And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there.
His 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
Steelers 21.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
They're on 17.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, it's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Now a handoff up the middle. Brennan. And he will have a Steelers 1st down, at least at first glance, as he'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
After the turnover, here's Herbert. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Ravens extend their 4th quarter lead, and they are closing in now on a 14-win campaign.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And now here is another interception.
And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. And in for the Ravens touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Ravens continue to pour it on here in the fourth. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
He's going to look deep down the field. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown.
McPherson on for the point after.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
77, Steelers 21. Kevin McPherson set to kick off.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one.
He's got a man complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Steelers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play.
The score, Ravens 77, Steelers 28.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
Herbert off of play action. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 24 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Let's go now.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
19 right.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. They'll try the left side. Brennan. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
114 yards on the ground for him now as he's gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Brennan. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Ready? 18 rather. 18 rather. Mustang 19. Dragon 60.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's going to be batted down, and will go the other way with a football. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. They're going to pass here with Herbert.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. And, CD, you look at this defense. What kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level. And sometimes you can get too caught up in trying.
And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it.
And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth.
But I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on. But apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
On second down, it's Taylor.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On third down, here's Taylor.
And he is not going to get the first down as they'll spot this at about the 28. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Come back, team! Dixie Maverick! Ready?
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And now here is another interception. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. Gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation,
and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. With the late lead, Herbert's going to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill, but remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes, and that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
They'll try and throw for it. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes has a way of catching up with you.
From the 10. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Ravens come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for the Ravens, it's another win for them, and you wonder if they